Let's try to relax.
I think that will be impossible until I solve this problem.
Hey,
Hey.
what went down with Felicity? She said you refused to help.
Oh, good. So you already know what happened. Do you need a diagram?
I was just wondering if that's how it's going to be from now on.
What?
Well, I offered to help. Ziggy's offered, Felicity, everyone has your back, and what do? You turn your back on everyone. Awesome.
Oh, that's just because I don't need anyone to fight my battles for me.
Well, someone has to. You've tapped out.
That's because I'm ready to accept all of this. Okay? Everything that went down was because of me, and I can live with that.
I can't.
I am facing reality. I am standing on my own 2 feet, and I'm not taking the easy way out this time.
Accepting help isn't the easy way out. It's the smart one. Unless you've got another plan. I thought the judge would have knocked some sense into you.
Yes, she did. Which is why I am trying to keep you all out of it.
I know you're scared about dragging us down with you, but this is really make or break for you and Salt.
Oh, thanks, Dean. I'm pretty sure I know what's on the line.
Then accept the help everybody is offering you. Can you really afford not to?
Hello and welcome. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast where we unpack the latest week's episodes and discuss the residents, their lives, and all the drama from our favourite fictional town, Summer Bay. Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Coastal News, a home and away podcast. We're Sophie. And we're here once again recapping the week's episodes. How are you doing, Sophie? You okay?
Hello. Yeah, good. Thank you. How are you doing?
I'm really well. Really well.
Oh,
For me, I'm not
busy
going to
day.
speak on your behalf. Busy day, yeah. All this driving.
Not even got a license, have you naughty boy?
We'll let the listeners in. I've been on Mario Kart all day. Poor Sophie's been working her socks off, and I'm not even dressed. I'm not even going to lie. It's 7:30 in the evening.
Oh, if I wasn't at work on cameras all day, I'd be the same. So no judgment. No judgment.
How quick has this week gone? Or is it just me?
No, it's gone really fast. But then I've just started a new job, so it's just gone by in a flash. I literally have spent all week just going, hello, I'm Sophie, what do you do? Hello, I'm Sophie, what do you do? It's mad, but it has gone really quick.
Mad times. How's the new job going?
Really good. Everyone is so nice. Like the place is on fire because there's so much going on. Every time I meet someone, they're like, oh, we've got this really big problem at the moment. I'm like, okay, another one. So like,
oh dear.
Yeah, they're full of problems, but it's not, it's a long story, but they seem really, really nice. So
nice.
It's kind of the opposite to what I had before, so it's better.
Yeah.
So,
perfect.
yeah.
Even though there's a problem, we're enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've been hired to do is to find out what the problems are and fix them. So, pressure, but there we go.
Yeah. Well, best of luck. Glad you're enjoying it so far. And time is going by fast. That can only be a good thing when we're all stuck working, can't it, really?
Yeah.
Have you managed to fit in home and away this week, though, Sophie? Or is that a dad question?
Of course. Like, I'd watch it at midnight if I had to. So.
That's normally me. Well, then, would you like your headlines for this week?
Yeah.
Good stuff. Mac is a free woman, but her money problems are only growing. Without an investor, she's forced to sell Salt. Justin's reported Theo to his tape tutor for cheating. Afterwards, he learns it's Theo's work all along. Can Theo save his skin and stay on the course? We'll find out, I'm sure. Chloe finds the purchase contract for the gym and starts to ask unwanted questions. Yes. And lastly, Rose and Xander find a permanent place to live. But Rose thinks skipping town is the best thing for her until Tex makes a head turn. So top of the week, Mac, she won't hear Flick out. Flick's got an idea to get her out of her money problems. That she's back from court. She's got more money to pay because she's been fined and given a good behaviour bond. She's still got the 50 grand plus debt that's mounting, probably because the business is still operating. So, and if it's operating at a loss, that must be growing by the day, surely. And Flick's over there and she's like, I've got some ideas. Mac's at it, I don't want to hear it. And I can't really blame her, to be honest.
I know.
Would you, after what's gone on?
No, I'd be a bit cautious as well. I just love that scene though. Before Flick arrived at the farmhouse to talk to Mac, we saw Mac like lying on the sofa with her phone in her hand, and it was like a to-do list, and there's just one thing on it that said, "Ask the court for a payment plan." I was like, you don't really need a list for that. That it should be like the forefront of your mind, Mac. Oh, that made me laugh.
Absolutely, yeah. And yet, wouldn't that have even been sorted before you left court? Maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how it works over there. But she was just like, to-do list. Oh, ask her a payment plan. I was like, yeah, I would.
No shit. Yeah. Well, Flick's there and she's got some ideas how to make money. And as I say, Mac's not listening to it. Don't blame her. The last idea was illegal poker nights. Got everybody in trouble. And it's Ziggy in the end that talks Mac round a bit and says, look, you need to listen to her at least, things need to be done differently this time. I think even Mac says that, need to do things different now. Like I can't keep going around the same old circle thinking things are going to change,
Yeah.
So Ziggy talks around to listening, and Dean really, because Dean sort of gives her a serve, doesn't he? He's hearing about all these people offering her help, and he goes over and he's like, how's it going to be? Everyone's offering you help and you're just point blank refusing.
Yeah.
So, is this the way it's going to be now? Sort of makes us, sort of like that holding up a mirror moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Mac's like, yeah, okay, fair enough. I need to stop feeling sorry for myself.
This is not like she had any ideas of her own, is it? Like she literally had no idea. So
not even, considering she's a businesswoman, she didn't even cross her mind to get an investor.
Like, bless her.
And that's what Flick's idea was. Let's get an investor. Like, how did she not think of that?
I don't know, but when we say Mac's a businesswoman, it makes me think: is she? Because the money for the restaurant came from her dad, didn't it? And then
that's true.
She's run it into the ground. Is she a businesswoman? Is she a good businesswoman? I guess is the question. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you're right to say that actually, because no, she's not, is she? Evidence to the contrary.
Yeah. She's a businesswoman, but is she a good one? I'm not. Yeah, jury's out. Yeah.
Well, investors, they attempt. Off they go to the big bad city to speak to investors. They come back with the tail between their legs a few days later, don't we? Yeah. And no money, no investors. There's one offer, but they want too much. They want to take over. They want majority share.
And you would though, wouldn't it? You would want to do that if you were taking on, rescuing a restaurant from the brink of death. I think you think, well, maybe we need to do things differently, and I don't know, if I'm putting some money into a business that's failing, I need to make sure I can generate some more money. So I think it's perfectly normal to want to do that, isn't it?
I do, and I think everyone's assumption, okay, the first life raft that landed nearby, grab it,
Yeah.
And I think actually I'm gonna side on with Mac on this one, because she did right. I think, in my opinion, not to accept it, because she said it herself, I'll be a boss. I'll have a boss. It'll be a job. I'll have no say. Like, I want to do this my way or the highway, And I sort of admired her for that, actually, because I thought, it'd be easy in the panic of it all, just to sell out, and do that. But she's not the kind of gal who's going to take orders from somebody, who's going to who's going to relinquish that much control of her own restaurant, is she?
And if you do, you might as well sell it. So her second plan to actually sell the restaurant made more sense, really, because in a way, if she took on the investor that wanted to take it over, she's sold it anyway, really.
True. But at least this way, all the cash is hers.
Exactly.
You know,
Well, what's left of it?
and she's in control of it.
Yes.
Yeah. She's in control of the sale.
Yes. Yeah.
And she comes to that conclusion not before Flick's like games night, trivia, murder mystery, karaoke.
Pokies. She wanted to put slot machines in. Didn't she?
I thought she had a bit of a nerve suggesting that, actually.
I don't think didn't really go with the venue. You could put pokies in the surf club, I reckon. Or, but not in Salt. It'd bring it down a bit, wouldn't it?
Also, like, she's on a good behaviour bond for illegal gambling, and it's just as easy. Let's just get you a license. Like, okay, that's going to happen. Yeah. No. Yeah. So the sales sign went up, didn't it? Yeah. So I'm a bit. I like Mac owning Salt.
Yeah. She suits it, doesn't she? It looks like the place that she should work. I mean, where else is she going to work? The caravan park or the diner? No, I don't see her anywhere else, really.
No, I don't.
Although Yabby Creek Hospital seems to want a lot of people, so she could get a job there. Seems to be quite easy to get a job there.
Everybody works there. Oh dear. Well, there's a phone call right at the end of yesterday's episode. Flick, she's ringing Cash, and she wants access to the inheritance.
Yeah.
In order to buy into Salt to solve all Mac's money problems. What?
And where's this money been all this time?
Yeah. Why have we messed about with dodgy PK in a hotel room, gambling to make this money when she could have offered to buy in at the very... I mean, it wouldn't have made a good TV show, but she could have offered to buy in 2 months back before all this drama kicked off.
Yeah.
Why are you playing that girl?
Well, as I said to you earlier, I was like, if I was Tane, I think I'd have some questions. Wait a minute. Yeah. So you got me stabbed and you had all this money all along? Like, what?
Oh. Can you believe it? I was thinking, really?
Oh no. I mean, I get it. I get you. We had to get here, didn't we? We had to come via this route to this storyline, but it does seem a bit like maybe she could have mentioned it when Mac first had her problems. She could have mentioned it then, and Mac could have shot her down at that point and said, "No, I've lost money. Yeah. I'm not putting your money into it. We'll think of something else." And then the something else was the poker nights. So we could have had a little snippet of it, but. So have this come out now when we've been through all of that drama? It's like, oh really? Like,
really good point, because it could have been like when it was all kicking off, the siege or whatever, the robbery and have you, she could have been little lines, couldn't they? Like, I know I could still give you that money, that kind of thing. Because Mac is proud. So she'd have been too proud to accept it back then.
She would have said no. She definitely would have said, and she would have tried to dig herself out of a hole. So we could have had that earlier on, but obviously we didn't. And now it feels a bit like, okay, why now?
We've been totally blindsided by her sitting on all this money, living in a caravan.
I know, that's the other bit. I was like, you've been living in a caravan. When you could have been living anywhere, you could have bought a house. This is just, I don't know. I get it though, because I think tonight's explanation, the 6:30 episode that went out on Friday, Cash had that conversation with Mac, didn't he, about it, and said, look, we didn't want to touch the money because, it's attached to something really sad. It's attached to the fact that they're orphans, aren't they, really? Because their mum died when they were young, and then their dad died by suicide, and then they inherited the farm and sold it, and that's where the money's come from. So the money is a reminder of all that horribleness that's happened in the past. So they've kind of buried their heads in the sand and ignored it, haven't they? Because they don't want to deal with all those memories. So I get it. I just think we could have done with it being mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Come
I
on.
agree. So it looks like we're getting the power duo, Mac and Flick, running the restaurant. I do like them together.
I do.
I think
there's a lot of people that don't. There's a lot of people that hate them. Have you noticed on the hashtag on Twitter?
Yeah, I have
There's
seen.
there's a lot of hate for Mac and Flick, and I get it because let's face it, they are both of them quite selfish, aren't they? They're both quite
100%. Yeah.
you know, only think of themselves, and then they're both high drama as well, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do get it, but I still like them, and I like their flaws that they've got as well. The
I
fact,
agree. Yeah, I agree. Especially where Mac's concerned. Flick, I can understand it's a bit of a take it or leave it type sitch
yeah,
because of her personality. Flack.
black.
Mac.
I like that. That's the new one.
That's the new ship, is it?
Yeah.
Mac, she has been horrible, bitter, selfish, self-centered. She can
Yeah.
be that, and
Yeah.
but it's through her insecurities, isn't it? And I think
Yeah.
you and I sympathise a bit with that insecure side of her.
Yeah.
To see through and accept those parts of her.
Yeah.
I think we can all be a bit like that sometimes, can't
I
we?
think it's relatable, definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you know that you can play Coastal News, a home and away podcast, right from your Amazon Alexa? Just say, Alexa, play Coastal News now. And of course, you can still catch your latest episodes on all other podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Castbox, Audible, Player FM, and much more. Just search Coastal News, a home and away podcast right now, wherever you get your podcasts from.
But Theo is on cloud 9 after his assignment results. He's got, he's had his results through, Mr. Distinction.
I know.
And he's literally jumping, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's bouncing around the bay, like wants to celebrate. But then he gets a call from his tutor with some bad news. We mentioned this on last week's episode that Leah and Justin, Leah has made Justin ring his TAFE tutor to say Justin wrote the assignment, when in actual fact Theo rewrote it and it was his own work that he submitted, and that he got the best grade he's ever got, as luck would have it. And now his tutor, he's on the verge of suspending him or failing him or whatever it is that happens.
They're investigating him, aren't they, for cheating? That's what they said. Yeah.
Yeah, which is understandable. So Justin's avoiding him. He's tried to tell him, but couldn't because he was so happy with his result. So he finds him and he confronts him, and that's when he tells him it was my work,
Yeah.
And there's that scene with the three of them, Leah, Justin, and Theo, where it's all, the confrontation scene, and it's all coming out. It was me. What you doing? Can't believe you've done this. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I've done this. The look on Justin's face. And I was just sitting there, I don't know about you, just thinking, another example of Theo being the most grown-up person in the room.
I know. Who would have thought it after his start on the show?
I know.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh, well, you've been telling me for ages that there's a lot of people out there that get annoyed with Leah for meddling and getting into, getting these situations, like starting a problem and then walking away from it, and people get annoyed with it. Well, I'm there now. I get it. Like, I've been so annoyed with it this week. I think people will know that because I've been tweeting on the hashtag and just being like, what is she playing at? It's the fact that I don't know what it is, but like Theo was obviously angry, rightly so, and Justin was kicking himself and going, "Oh, I'm such an idiot. Oh, I can't believe I did this." And Leah just sat there and said nothing. I was like, "It's your fault, lady. Come on, like have some responsibility. Say, I'm sorry. I made Justin phone." She said nothing.
I know. She literally. And do you see who Justin tried to throw Leah under the bus again? He was like, yeah, someone made me call.
Yeah, but he didn't say it, did he? He didn't.
No. And there was a scene later on where, between Justin and Leah, where Justin was feeling really bad. I think it was at the diner or something. And Leah was like, oh, they're there. And I was thinking, it was you. It
was your fault. You absolute cow. I'm sorry. I've been really cross with her. I like Leah. Like, I'm a fan of Leah, and I was always like, oh, why does nobody like her? I don't get it. Now I get it.
Well, honestly, this week I can't even look at her.
I know, she's
So
winding me
I'm
up.
really falling out with her. So
Yeah.
I'm
not being
glad the
funny, but she kicked Justin out the other week for just blurting out something to Chloe about her having to move out. I'm sorry, but Leah's done something much worse this week. And if I was Justin, I'd be kicking her out on the sofa. So I just don't understand.
especially as it's his house.
I know.
um,
I don't understand how she's got away with that. The
Me neither.
brass neck of her. Oh dear. I'm
So
very
funny.
cross, Leah. I'm very cross. I'm disappointed. You've let me down. You've let yourself down. Oh dear.
Everybody around you, you've let down. Oh dear. Well, and most of all, you've let Theo down because the poor boy tries to recover the original file. Actually, is successful in doing so. Sends it to the tutor, and then I'm thinking, but that proves now there's just 2 now.
Yeah, because you could have just written it. You could have just written it just half an hour ago. Like, there's no proof that it was. Oh.
And the tutor does say that, so makes him go in for an exam. There was no other way of settling that, I suppose.
No.
But he thinks he's done well.
We haven't had the results yet, have we? You don't, unless I've
no,
missed
but he
something.
feels like it went well.
Yeah.
You know, he came back, didn't he, and said to Justin, I feel like it's gone well. And Justin's like, thank God, get the champagne up and quick, move on. So dear. I'm hoping he doesn't get kicked off TAFE. You know,
yeah.
I think he'll be all right, but we just don't need this drama. We just don't need it.
He was just getting to the point where he was happy, and then they've just kicked him again, haven't they? Basically.
Yeah, have you noticed it's a common thing with Theo? Yeah. And he said it himself, didn't he, this week?
Yeah.
Something along the lines of, I've just getting over all that stuff with Dimitri.
Yeah.
And then this, you know, I'm just getting myself on my feet after all that.
Yeah.
And I did feel for him, you know.
Yeah.
Line and sinker here, you know.
Yeah, definitely. No, I'm Team Theo now, so I don't like anybody being mean to him anymore.
No. What do you think of sort of Chloe's support of him? You know, he seems the pair of them seem smitten.
Yeah.
She supported him rewriting the assignment.
Even
she was
idea,
shocked that,
wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And even she was shocked that nobody seemed to know he'd rewritten it. Like, no one's talking. There's like nada communication.
Yeah.
What do you think of her support of him? Do you think she's good for him?
I do this week, but I'm still suspicious of her. You know what I mean? I'm still a little bit like, lady, what's your game? Because she's a bit unhinged, isn't she? Let's be honest. So
yeah.
I'm not fully
in the past she's been
her.
a bit schemy, hasn't she?
Yeah, well, that whole like pretending to cry in the bathroom thing and then writing in the diary and all that. I'm still remembering all that, Chloe. I've not forgotten. So I'm not sure, but she does seem to be, you know, she does seem to be doing well for Theo at the moment, like championing him and like building him up and, you know, building, because his confidence has been knocked with the whole Dimitri thing, hasn't it? Even though he came across as really confident and stuff, it's actually compensation for everything that was going on. And we know that now. Yeah. So she's good for him in that way, like sort of building up and saying, you can do it. You can write the essay. You can do it yourself. It's a good idea. Sit down and do it, you know.
Yeah.
But she
has been good at building him up, hasn't she?
Yeah. What do you think? I know you don't like Chloe very much. Probably the same amount as I don't. But how are you feeling about her now?
Same. Nothing's changed my opinion of her.
Yeah.
I feel like she's settling a bit. She's helping out at the gym, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think she's settling again. But because of her past behaviour, like you just mentioned, and the fact that I really just can't get on board with it, I'm just waiting for her to kick off. I'm just waiting for something to happen because she's very, very needy. And there was a bit of it, you know, like, oh, you know, I've got nothing to do. And then she seems a bit, you know, she's preoccupied with sorting out the filing cabinet in the gym at the moment. So, like, she's left Theo to do his assignment. But what's going to happen once she's organised that?
Yeah,
you know,
she's going to be bored again. Yeah.
Yeah. And you were saying on last week's podcast, you know, look at yourself, get a grip, girl. You know, like you
Yeah.
can't do anything with that, because she was the same with Ryder. She was the
Yeah.
same with Bella.
Yeah.
Now we thought she was going to end up with the same with Theo. So I'm happy for them both, but with trepidation,
Yeah.
I guess is the answer.
Yeah. Same as me, I think.
And we must mention really about her sort of sideline. She's, you know, Leah gave her the accounts to do for the gym. Or Lee was helping her with the accounts after Tane said, "Yeah, I do
Yeah.
the accounts because I'm just a buffhead and do exercise." So
Rude.
and she's taken it upon herself to, you know, sit in the chair in the office.
I
Like,
know. Yeah.
where did that come from? And you know, she's sorting out the filing cabinet, and filed under S for some reason. She finds the contract for the sale of the gym.
Yeah.
And we were taking the bit last week. Has someone just written in the ledger? You know?
Bought with hot money. Yeah.
But no, instead, what they've done is keep a hard copy of dodgy sales and money laundering and put it in the filing cabinet for anybody to find.
No, gosh.
And she's asking questions, isn't she? Because
Yeah.
she's assumed there's a loan of some sort involved in the purchase of the gym. She's now discovered that it was bought in cash, and she knows Mia and Aria didn't have 2 cents to rub together.
Yeah.
So she's asking questions. Tane's telling her, just shut up. Like,
Tane
you
didn't
know.
handle it very well, did he? He just kind of went, I don't know. Anyway.
I'm just going to go over here and pick this towel up. Yeah.
Oh,
He wasn't
God.
the best, was he? Just avoiding it. And then bizarrely, we just talked about her getting a bit needy and possessive, but then she sort of starts going around the whole bay asking everybody.
Oh, this did my head in.
What, like, Tane's like, what the hell are you doing?
Who does that? First of all, not being funny, but that's a private family matter. Your finances and your business. You don't go around asking, you know, your neighbours. Oh, do you know anything about my mum and my stepdad's finances and how much they paid for the gym and how they got the money? Like, she went and asked Irene. I was like, Irene's got nothing to do with it. What?
Which is what she says. She's like, I ain't got a clue, doll. You know.
What? This is not something you just ask your random neighbours about, is it? It's private.
No.
And I
she
think I
phones Mia.
tweeted something on the hashtag. I was like, who are you going to ask next? The police. And then the next scene, she asked Cash. And I was like, oh my God, I was joking.
That's when you see Tane panic and run over.
I know.
I need you in here, quick. What is she doing?
I don't know. Like, she rang Mia, didn't she? And obviously Mia's fobbed her off as well and just gone, oh, I'm busy. I'll call you later.
Yeah, didn't she say savings as well?
Yeah.
She said, oh, it was savings. Go away.
Yeah.
You know.
Anyway, someone's at the door. Bye.
Why? Dear. Just leave it be. It's not your business.
No,
you know,
exactly. Just being nosy.
In both sense of the word, you know.
I'm not being funny, but she's not very smart, is she? Let's be honest. Because if you think, hang on a minute, this is 150k bought in cash. My mom didn't have that amount of money. I'd immediately think something dodgy had happened. I wouldn't be going to Irene and Cash and saying, "Oh, guess what? I found out." Would you?
I know. Nope.
I'd be thinking, "Hang on, something happened here."
I've been making sure that a filing cabinet's locked. Pretend I never saw it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Deniability.
Because it's now to do with you. It's now to do with her, is it? So you just, I literally pretend I'd never saw it. It's nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What do we think? There must be a reason this is coming out. Now, you know, for a long time, I've been wanting this to come out. Because when did they buy the gym? Was it last year?
Or was it the year before? When did Jazz sell it? When did Robbo die?
Oh my gosh, Robbo died in like 2019.
Because didn't Jasmine have the gym for a while after Robbo died and then eventually decided to sell it? Was that why?
Yeah, she sold it because it was too much.
Yeah, and she's grieving.
The gym and the.
So it might be a couple of years, actually.
So a long time. It's at least a year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Somewhere between a year and 2, I would say.
Yeah.
And I'm a bit like, is this ever going to be resolved? You
Yeah.
know, am I just
Well,
going to have to forget this?
do you know what I was thinking? And I could have got this completely wrong, but this has all come out while we've got this dodgy Tex turned up.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm thinking, because he was in the gym in tonight's 5-star 6:30 episode on Friday, he was in the gym talking to Tane, and he's been asking loads of questions of everybody, hasn't he, in the bay? And he was signing up for the gym and asking, "Oh, who's that? That your girlfriend?" When Flick came in, and I just thought, I don't know, something about him. I'm really suspicious of him, basically. And I was wondering, could he have been something to do with the robbery, where the money came from?
Oh, the original robbery.
Yeah.
Um,
Could he have been involved in that, or I don't know, because we don't know much about what happened. We know that Ari and Tane's brother died, don't we? But we don't really know any of the was anybody
now
else
then.
involved? Was
Hmm.
Tex a security guard? Did they donk him on the head? I'm just like, my brain's going overdrive.
Now then, that's a theory and a half. Do you think
Yeah.
they'd recognise him, though?
I don't
No.
know. Would Tane know who he was? I don't
Well, we don't
know.
know. Well, that's
Mm-mm.
like you say, we don't know enough detail about
Yeah,
the robbery, do we? So I suppose
exactly.
that,
Yeah.
but that might be deliberate, so they could write stuff like this into the backstory. So,
Because do you remember how Matthew found Mia? So Matthew came to the bay looking for Mia, and he said, "Oh, I saw you in an article in the newspaper about the gym."
that's
So,
right, yeah.
so do you think maybe this Tex guy would know Mia?
Oh gosh.
And
Right, now I'm
it's
going into overdrive now.
I know. I don't know. I'm just literally making it up because I've not read any spoilers on it. But I was just wondering, with Mia and Ari not in the show anymore, this guy could legitimately turn up in the bay. Nobody would recognise him, because I don't think Tane would if he was involved. Because Tane wasn't involved with the robbery, was he? Don't
I
think.
don't know.
I
I
don't think
really
he
don't know.
was. I think he was too young.
The thing is that the Parata's timeline's a mess.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know, when you think, because he was supposed to have been in prison for 10 years,
Yeah,
but there was something like 8 years.
yeah,
And then him and Mia were together 8 years before that, which would mean, and Chloe's not his daughter, but it would mean that Chloe wouldn't have been born. Do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
that, if you actually, the amount of information we've had about the timeline of them,
yeah,
over the past couple of years, the
yeah.
timeline isn't correct. It's a bit of a
No.
mess.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
he was either not in prison as long as he said he was,
Mm.
and there was actually a conversation at some point about Ari's parole. He didn't get parole because he took the fall for something, and Dean got out. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Um, so I'm gonna say he probably did serve a long sentence. Do you know what I mean? Because
yeah.
that's how, because he knew Dean, didn't he,
He did,
from
yeah,
prison.
yeah.
Um,
But if you
so
think
it
about it, so Mia had Chloe, but obviously wasn't with Matthew, so didn't bring up the baby because she ran away, didn't he? He didn't even know she kept it. So she'd run away with the baby. So maybe Ari got with Mia when Chloe was literally a newborn.
must have been, but the way the
Yeah,
timeline has been, it would them getting
yeah,
together predates what Chloe's age is supposed to be, from what,
yeah.
if I remember right. Then I'm just thinking
Ah,
that's all a bit
okay.
wrong, you know.
Yeah.
It would mean Chloe was born after they got together, and
Oh,
that's not
right.
right, is it?
Okay. No.
Because otherwise it's going to put Chloe at like 28 years old.
Oh, right. That difference. Okay.
Yeah. But I think it's a Jenny Aniston.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
Yeah. Okay, what a theory. It's so Tex cut. Yeah, you're right. I've been
It might not
flip-flopping.
be. It might not be, because I also think he's got some weird interest in Rose that's not just the obvious, if you know what I
Well, we'll
mean.
come on to that bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I might be wrong,
Um,
but I was just like, my suspicion alarm bell was going off. I was like,
mm,
not sure.
or you'll be like Chloe herself, walking around town asking everybody.
Do you know anything about this text guy?
That can't be his real name, can it? What do you think?
Do you think it's Texas? Like, I'm trying to work out, what does Tex stand for? Is it a nickname, or is it like, is his name Texas? Like, where his parents? Did they get? Was he conceived in Texas? I don't know. Like Brooklyn Beckham. He's named after Brooklyn, the place, because that's where they reckon he was conceived.
Maybe. I'm
Yeah.
just surprised no one has questioned it when he's introduced himself. But there we
Yeah.
go.
Oh well.
There we go. So the gym. Yeah, you're right. It's been the purchase of the gym, the dodgy money. It's been brought back up now so far after for a reason. I'm here for it because I hate a loose end. So whatever's happening, I'm thinking, okay, is Tane going to end up in trouble here?
Yeah.
Well, the gym's changed hands now, so Tane could say, I don't know,
Yeah.
is Mia going to be in trouble?
Yeah.
Are they going to go after Mia now? There's a few questions here, and I can't wait to see how we tie it up.
Yeah.
Because that one has been niggling at me for a while, shall we say. Well, Xander agreed this week that Cash is freaking out over nothing.
Yep.
It was just asleep in a car.
Yeah.
And I was jumping for joy because I'm like, finally, somebody agrees. And of all people, it's Xander. Rose is just carrying on and on and on with this awkward, avoiding him, scowling at him when he comes nearer. She did say something quite that did sort of prick my ears a bit this week. She sort of turns around to him and says, I feel guilty and I did nothing wrong, so just back off, you know. And I thought, however, you're making yourself sound like a completely innocent party when you have actually made it known to him that you've got feelings for him, which for me, in my book, is a big no-no when he's your sister's boyfriend.
It's not completely innocent, is it, really?
No. And she's painting herself out to be the innocent one, which has annoyed me a little bit. Although I do agree with what she said, I don't agree with her actually saying it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think so. I get it, yeah.
I'm not on my own there, am I? No?
No, like you're right. So the situation that she's in is not of her making because it's Cash that fell asleep in her car and then made it a secret for some weird reason. So she's party to a secret that's nothing to do with her, but she's also got this other secret now, which she has created, where she's admitted to her sister's boyfriend that she fancies him. So she's not without guilt.
No, and you know what? If I ended up in her shoes, I'd be tempted to just ring Jasmine up and be like, look, I can't deny that I don't feel anything. Nothing's happened, not acted on it, but not everything is clearly as it seems, and I think you both need to have a chat. And I know that's potentially going to end up breaking them up, but if I'm being honest, it's not right if this is the stuff that Cash is carrying on with. When her back's turned.
Well, if she's going to keep acting like this, like she's got to do something, hasn't she? Because they can't carry on the way they are right now. Because they're police officers. They need to go to work, be professional, and she's just making it like a drama every day.
Well, at that, and they're doing everybody's head in, including us.
Well, yeah, exactly. So if she can't park it until Jasmine comes back and then deal with it, if she has to make it a drama every day until she comes back, they've got to deal with it now, haven't they? Basically.
Yeah, and to be fair to him, he's trying to do that, isn't he? He's trying to draw a line and move on, and she's just hysterical. Maybe because she's embarrassed. I don't know. But while all this is going on, he keeps trying to sort it. She keeps screaming and running off, and then Xander keeps going between the two of them. Irene's like, "Hey, why don't you rent this apartment above the diner?"
Oh, Irene.
And
only you
it's
knew.
just, I know, but it's just another week of Irene. It's right in front of you.
She has been a bit slow because normally Irene picks up on stuff really fast and like she notices things and then she's explaining it to Marilyn, doesn't she? A lot of the time, and going, Marilyn, do you think this? Like, look over there. But she hasn't clued up at this at all, has she?
No. I think you said it on here at some point. Get there quicker, Irene. Like, this is just in madness. And then and she's shown Xander around the apartment. At the same time, Rose has exclaimed that she wants to leave the bay. She's her sort of response and her answer, her resolution to it all is to just hit the road.
Yeah.
And it looks like she's going to do that. And Xander sort of has this moment where he comes back down from upstairs, viewing the apartment, into the diner. Cash is there.
Yeah.
And, he's given the keys back to Irene. And Irene's like, well, do you want it? And he's like, no, can you give me to the end of the day? Because I think I've got to try and talk Rose into staying.
Yeah.
And Cash is like, staying whatever. And he's like, she's
Yeah.
leaving because of you. So
Yeah.
at that moment,
Yeah.
it does make Rose and Cash have that conversation that they should have had
Yes.
days ago.
Yeah.
And I thought, finally we're getting somewhere now.
Yeah.
We're moving on. Rose has decided to stay, and they do sign the lease on the apartment. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, finally.
Yes.
Nope.
I know. Oh dear.
The same merry-go-round the next day, innit?
I know. I don't want to see you. I've been rostered on with him. I was like, oh, for God's sake. I thought we were going to be okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Q, the aforementioned Tex,
Yes.
who's had a few sort of flirty moments with Rose, asked her out for a drink, which she first denied, but now that she's spent all week getting wound up with Cash, she then agrees to go out with him and have a drink. And now I'm like, oh, she's using poor Tex.
Yeah, she does seem to be
get Cash out of her mind.
only interested in him to sort of get, you get under one to get over the other, don't you? So
yeah,
it seems to be that way. Oh.
I got new rules, I got them. Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't feel sorry for Tex because I actually don't think he's only interested in Rose. I think he's interested in something else. I don't know.
Do you think he's getting close to the police for a reason?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know whether he's fishing for information or I just find him dodgy. So I'm thinking, why is he cozying up to a copper? This doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Okay. So we're keeping one eye open where Tex is concerned.
Don't trust him.
I'm living in the moment. I felt sorry for him at that point. I thought, the poor kid, yeah, he wants to get his end away, but he's no idea that she's just using him to get over, like you say, over Cash.
Yeah.
So, I felt a bit for him, but I mean, for him, if it's a Cash thing, no, I'm done. Do you know what I mean? That kind of attitude. And as the week goes on, they end up right in front of Cash. She agrees to another date with him, another drink.
Yeah.
And they wound up crossing paths a few times, don't they? And then she ends up bringing him up to this apartment, drinking neat vodka.
Yeah, gross.
Never ends well.
Yeah. I was like coughing just watching that. No.
Yeah. And they've slept together, haven't they?
Looks like it, yes.
So we're suspicious of Tex. We think he's getting close to Rose for another reason. That's why we're leaving that one this week, yeah?
I think so. That's where I am. I could be completely wrong, but I just don't know. Like, he's evading questions as well, because she was babbling on about her family to him, and like she's obviously opened up about all of that stuff, which is really private stuff to talk about on a second date, I guess. Is a lot of information to impart to somebody that you barely know. And obviously she must trust him. And for a copper, you think she would be cautious. I don't know. But then when she asked him, like, tell me about your family, he's like, yeah, I have one. Like, okay.
Okay. There was another moment as well, wasn't Irene asking him questions or something? And he like, really... where's home, Tex? Where's home? And he's like, wherever a cold beer is. Like, you're right. He's a bit odd, isn't he? And he's very, very elusive.
Yeah.
So okay, you've convinced me. He's up to something. Well, the thing about
he might
no,
be just,
you're not.
He might just
this
be
is home
nice and private and shy. I don't know.
No, this is home and away we're talking about. He's got a secret. And the thing is, he's winning everybody over in the base slowly but surely, because the other side of what Tex has been up to this week, other than bedding Rose, was saving lives on the beach.
Yes.
Was one.
Yeah.
Or helping save lives. John was impressed, offered him a job. Trying to poach him.
Irene was like, don't you let Marilyn catch you. the taskmaster.
Marilyn was gold in that episode.
She was.
You know, fretting about him. Oh, you know, you could see her panicking. I'm going to have to fire him. Oh my gosh, you know.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
understand where she's coming from. I know she's being a bit mad, but
yeah.
like, you know, she's promised. She even says it. No, I don't want to have to call Mr. Stewart and then try and tell him why nothing's done.
Yeah.
Those gutters, it's a fire hazard. So, you know, and she's about to fire him, and it's, you know, and he comes in, doesn't he, to the diner, and Irene's like, listen,
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, your
Irene,
socks
who's
up.
probably, yeah, who's used to hiring and firing young people over the years, has a chat with him and learns that he
Yeah.
couldn't have done the list that Marilyn set him to do at the caravan park because he was saving lives on the beach. And
Yeah.
then, you know, suddenly he's a hero.
Yeah. But then when Marilyn found out, she was like, well, what are you doing on the beach anyway? Meant to be at work.
I know, but she got egg on her face then, didn't she? Because it was like, I've done it. I was up at the crack
Oh,
of dawn. He's an early riser.
he is.
Up
I
to
reckon
it.
he was up all night doing that list, you know.
Mm. It's funny because the week before, Marilyn has spent like all week taking food off him, making him work, and now he's done a bit of work. She's feeding him up. She
Yeah.
loves she's I think she's falling into the Tex trap, and now we're suspicious of him.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a bit worried for Maz. I know I said I was a bit worried at the beginning.
Mm.
You know, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's winning the bay over one person at a time, isn't he? And I
Yeah.
think that's what's sort of confusing me a bit. I'm like, oh, there's a nice boy in there, you know.
Oh, I'm not seeing it yet. I'm afraid. Not see it. I'm far too suspicious of him.
But it has led to some hilarious scenes between Maz and Irene, though, which
It
has been
has. Yeah.
just great all week. Particularly loved it. Where she's like, oh, you know, I knew he'd come good.
Yeah.
I always knew he was going to be good. And Irene's like, that before or after you wanted to kill him? And Maz is like, Irene, don't be so dramatic. Like, you've spent all week being really dramatic about it. Oh dear.
Oh dear. They're so good together, they are. Love their scenes together.
Mm. Well, as part of the life-saving operation again on the beach, I think I saw a message. It was either a tweet or something on a forum this week. It was like, am I watching Coming Away or Baywatch? I don't quite know.
It does feel like Baywatch, doesn't it?
Like there's a damsel every day getting into
Yeah.
trouble on the beach.
Yeah.
But Nink was there, obviously, with John,
Yeah.
doing a slow saunter to the patient. And Nink goes in to fetch the patient's board steps on a sea urchin.
Yes.
A bit
And then
painful, that.
Everyone on Twitter that I spoke to was Googling sea urchin because we were like, what is this?
Were they?
What is this thing? Didn't look nice. What I Googled didn't look nice. I was talking to somebody on the hashtag on, they were actually tweeting the pod account this week, Tess. Yeah. So Tess said, my wife stepped on a sea urchin on our honeymoon in Cuba.
Oh
which
my God.
sounds absolutely dreadful. It just looks so painful. And then someone else, because I'd put, just Googling sea urchin, and someone else, Angela, got in touch and said, yeah, I was just Googling it as well. I wonder how many other people are. I was like, yeah, I've heard of them. I just didn't realise they were so spiky, like a little hedgehog, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and they can be quite colourful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do not want to step on one with your bare foot by the looks.
Harper Twitter was Googling what sea urchin was. That's hilarious. It was.
And then because I was Googling it's got venom in it. So the little spikes, when you stand on it, they release venom into your foot, which it sounds like it's very rarely fatal, but it can make you really poorly. So.
Well, he burnt up, didn't he? He got a temperature.
Yeah.
And it was, as John said, well, it's a lucky thing I know what the
Yes.
symptoms of the sea urchin is.
He needs a job at the hospital, doesn't he?
Well, he's probably the only one who hasn't worked there. And he gets Nink to hospital, and whoa, look who's there at the hospital.
World. Small little world,
Oh, I'm an agency nurse. Oh, right, thanks for explaining that.
Yeah.
And as you were saying when we were laughing about this on WhatsApp last night, like, where was her nursing skills when her friend was dying on the
A
beach the week
sister?
before?
It was a sister,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
keep calling her friend.
Yeah, I'm sure it was a sister, but yeah, I was like, you were in such a flap when your sister was drowning the other day. Can you handle the emergency pressure? I guess it's different when it's your relative, isn't it? And whatever,
Mm.
but she didn't come across as a nurse to me in that episode.
No, me neither.
No.
She was just flapping.
Yeah.
But she's there anyway, and and she's helping Nick, doing a bit of the old, oh, have you told your girlfriend? Yeah,
I know.
getting the information.
That was a bit creepy. She's mentioned the girlfriend so many times. Like, what's
Romance in the making here.
what's your angle? Why are you so interested in his girlfriend? Is it because you want to be his girlfriend? Come on, this is so
Yeah,
obvious.
she's fishing. She's fishing
Yeah.
for info, isn't she? She's trying to find out if the girlfriend's still on the scene.
Yeah.
She wanted him to say, "Oh, we've decided to have a break" or something.
Yeah. And then she'd be like, oh, I'm so
but then,
sorry. Let's go for coffee and I can talk to you about it. Ugh.
I mean, she seems okay, Sophie. She seems really nice, right?
She does.
She's a nurse. She's caring. She presents well, But
Yeah.
girls spending all night chatting to him, knowing he's got a girlfriend, knowing
Yeah.
that the girlfriend's in America,
Yes.
she seems nice, but to me, that's not a nice thing to do.
We
Am I wrong?
can't let her off because she seems nice and all that stuff. Imagine if this was Xander. Imagine if Xander was sat next to the patient's bed all night talking about sea urchins. We'd
Oh,
rip him
yeah.
apart, wouldn't we? We would absolutely rip him apart, call him a creep, and all this stuff.
That's
So
true.
just because she's a girl doesn't mean she's not a creep.
Oh, yeah. Okay, there we go. Bit of balance, bit of neutrality here on the pod. Yeah, you're right. You're right. And yeah, she seems nice, but to me, her actions are a little bit underhand, because if she was a really nice girl, okay, she might fancy him, and that's fine, and they might hit it off, and they might have a connection.
Yeah.
Fine, that's just humanity, and that's life. But she knows right from the offset he's got a girlfriend, and that's where that should stay. And I think clocking off and spending all night at the hospital isn't correct.
No, it's a bit creepy.
No, and I think her boss needs to find out about it because I don't think that's right.
And then she went straight back on a shift, didn't she? The next day.
It's not right. I just don't. It's stupid.
If it was a guy, we would be ripping them apart and saying, "No, that's creepy,"
Yeah, we would. We would. To be fair, yeah, we would. So, I'm staying on the fence with her.
Yeah.
Do you know what though? If she becomes if she's a new character, let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bella's left, so we know that has to be resolved some way.
Yes.
I'd just like the girl code to be adhered to. You don't touch another gal's bloke, do you?
No, exactly. Yeah.
Don't do it.
Can we just mention one thing we didn't talk about? And I absolutely loved this scene this week.
Go on.
Do you remember that scene where Dean and Ziggy are talking about Mac's problem and Dean's like, oh, maybe we can get a loan. Maybe we can help her out.
Oh,
and
yes.
John is earwigging in the background. And John's like, oh, I don't think you can get a loan, you criminal. You know what I mean? And I'm just dying because just no, John, you don't say it how you think it, you don't say it. And then later on, I think John tried to kind of apologise, but ended up offending him again, didn't he? And John was like, "Oh, look, I wasn't trying to offend you, upset you. I was just, trying to be realistic and not let you get your hopes up." And then the line of the week that just killed me from Dean was, "Thanks, mate. I'd hate to start dreaming too big."
Yes, that's true. Yeah. How did we miss that?
I just loved it. That was so funny. That was such a Dean comeback. I loved it.
We've had such good comedy this week. We really have. Yeah, I agree.
Thanks, mate.
I agree.
Brilliant. Sorry, just had to say that because it was just my highlight of the week.
Right, that's all we've got time for this week. We got through that really quick.
We did.
Really quick. And more, I was thinking, prepping for this episode, there's not really much happening at the minute, but actually, now we've just recorded that, I'm like, okay, yeah, more went down than I thought. Do you want to look at next week?
Yes,
First look at what we'll be
definitely.
chatting at next week here on Coastal News. So, Monday, no episode number. Cash loses his appetite in a dramatic way.
Oh dear.
Okay, literally his appetite, or
Did you see the trailer for next week? It looks like he's supposed to have dinner with Rose and Xander.
okay.
I think
Got
it
ya.
might be that. Maybe
Oh,
he,
yes, of
he
course.
leaves before the dinner's served or something. I don't know.
Yeah. In a dramatic way, pulse
Yeah,
Bad
storms off.
Yeah.
Storms off, I think.
for a change. Right.
Hmm.
Rose brings an unwelcome visitor, Tex, obviously, and Tex sweet talks his way into a job.
Another job. Ooh.
Okay.
Hospital.
I wonder if it's at the gym, because you said he was at the gym sniffing around today.
Oh, Tani's got a sling on, so he can't really do anything, can he?
Yeah, and he commented on that not being a good advert for the gym.
Yeah, it's not really, is it?
No.
Yeah. Well, maybe.
And then if he's in at the gym, then he's in at the, like you say, if he's part of that robbery, which is our
Yeah.
ongoing theory. Now, officially, it's our theory.
But then he's young, isn't he? You know what you just said about the robbery being 20 years ago? He wouldn't even be born. But how old is Tex? Oh, maybe it's not that. Maybe I've put 2 and 2 together and got 5.
Age is just a number. You and the writers, by the sounds of the timeline. Anyway. Theo worries that Justin may have ruined his apprenticeship. Well,
It's all your fault.
yeah, it is. And, well, no, it's not.
Well, it's
Leah's.
Leah's.
Yeah. It's Leah's fault.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Mm.
Anyway, Rose confesses her secret love.
To who? We know this.
Wait, let me just read that again, because I've just read it. You know, in your mind, there's obviously a mistype here, and your mind just reads it and corrects it without you realising.
Yeah.
This says, Roses confesses her secret love.
Oh.
It's obviously supposed to be Rose, isn't it?
Rose. Yeah. Who's she
Um,
confessing to? Maybe Irene? Who doesn't know that needs to know?
Jasmine.
Do you think? Over the phone?
Mm.
It's quite a phone call, that, isn't it?
I'm not
Oh.
being funny, but Jasmine really ought to be back by now. You know, even if it's just to come back and sort of sort out shifts or something, really.
get her bags and go. By the
It's been
time
over a week now. Yeah, well, yeah. But do you know what I mean? Like, we need this to sort of move on now, because we're stuck in this Rose Cash merry-go-round a little too long, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Ziggy and Dean plan a road trip getaway.
Mm.
Bit random.
Where are they
Another
going?
one. That's how they met. If you
And they're
remember.
going to the Hunter Valley, Wine Valley, or whatever it is. That's what they seem to pop off to.
Another group on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Theo's success turns sour, and Rue and Marilyn express support for Tex.
Ooh.
Rue's back. Because
Is
Rue's off recouping in Merimbula, isn't she?
Yeah, maybe they've got fed up with her and packed her off.
These synopses feel a bit strange.
Yeah.
Felicity's friends come to town.
We know what this is.
There's a picture of them.
We know what that is, don't we?
Right then, brace yourself for Wednesday.
Wednesday! Oh, God, okay.
Right. Open mind, Sam. Open mind. Nico stumbles his way into a date.
Oh, what? Oh, dear.
All I can do is tilt at that.
Oh, dear.
Especially as he's already been done for cheating. Like,
has.
he's already cheated on Bella.
Yeah.
Leopard spots.
Oh,
Chloe struggles to handle her dual roles And Ziggy tries to save Theo's apprenticeship.
Oh, bless her.
She's so cute, Ziggy, isn't she?
She does. She's a good character to have on your side, isn't she?
She is.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Her and Dean, obviously taking a back seat. Characters have to do that sometimes, don't they? But her and Dean have been very sort of supportive roles the last few months. I don't know if you've noticed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
They just sort of
with Mac and Bella, everybody.
They're just the shoulder to cry on the soundboard, aren't they? They're not really doing anything. So maybe we can move into a bit of that zone, please. Give them something to do. Yeah. Felicity and Mac get into a business dispute. That was going to happen, wasn't it?
I think
they're going to butt heads because Flick's going to have all sorts of nuts ideas.
Oh dear.
The takeover of Tane's place.
Oh, this is Flick's friends. They're moving into Tane's house. Yeah.
Okay.
I've seen this on the hashtag, unfortunately, on Twitter.
Have you?
Yeah.
Right. Because that didn't read very well. And finally, Nico wonders if they can just be friends.
Oh God.
So will they, won't they? It's a will they, won't they?
Oh
dear, can't wait. Thanks very much, everybody. That's been Coastal News. We've been recapping all the episodes for you. Do join us again in future. Make sure you don't miss an episode. Like, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts from, and join us on social media, Instagram and Twitter, on the handle @CoastalNewsPod. Anything to add before we go, Sophie?
No, wonderful. Yes, all good.
Thanks very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye.